From his first ever car, the iconic Acura Legend, to the luxurious Rolls-Royce Dawn, which costs a whopping $350,000. Here are all the vehicles in Ludacris's private car collection. Now, like any other car fanatic, some cars in Ludacris's collection are there just for sentimental value. I mean, consider his Acura Legend. Luda's involved in a bit of a love story with this vehicle. His second-generation Acura Legend has been with him even before the Fast and Furious star became a massive celebrity. In fact, it was the first ever car he bought for himself in the early to mid-90s. So, it's no surprise why the Acura Legend is so special for Ludacris. And let's just say he got some pretty good use out of it. After all, the car clocked over 250,000 miles on the odometer. Sadly, the car was involved in an accident back in 2015, but since then, the star has had it restored by the Acura Design Studio in Los Angeles. I totally get it. The car's got a special place in his heart. But the Legend isn't the only Acura vehicle Ludacris has in his private collection, because the rapper also has the tactile Acura NSX. It's no surprise why a longtime fan of the automotive maker wouldn't hesitate to get one of the company's best supercars. The NSX is probably the best bang for your buck you can get, providing a really good all-round solution for anyone who's really into supercars. Since it's powered by a really intelligent 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6 hybrid engine, you can expect this thing to do some real work, coupled with around 476 pounds of torque and a 9-speed dual-clutch gearbox. This must have been an easy purchase for Ludacris. He got his variant in white, and as you'll soon see, this is something that's gonna be a running theme for the rapper. He just loves his cars in white, what can I say? Next up on Ludacris's car collection is the BMW 7 Series. Now, as the star's only luxury sedan, some might not be that impressed by his choice. But let's be honest, there are tons of other sedans that he could have picked, which would have been much worse than this. From the looks of it, Ludacris went for the F01 era model, which came out all the way back in 2009. It's unclear what trim level or upgrades the rapper might have done to this vehicle. But knowing Ludacris, he probably forked over a lot of cash to make sure he got the best version of his vehicle. After all, it's a part of a rather historic lineup. This 7 Series vehicle is the only one to be offered with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And that's not all. It's got a ton of engine choices, including a V12-powered version. Now, this next vehicle might be one of Ludacris's favorites. It's certainly one that many Ferrari fans adore. Yup, it's the Ferrari 458 Italia. It's no surprise why, even after all this time, this car manages to have a huge fan following. It's easily among the company's best vehicles, and for good reason. The car has made its spot among the likes of other legends produced by Ferrari, like the Enzo and the F40. So it's no surprise why Luda, being as filthy rich as he is, decided to add this to his collection. Interestingly, there's something special about Luda's 458, especially when compared to all of his other vehicles. It's one of the few cars that he hasn't painted white. Instead, it looks like the star fell in love with a glossy blue shade and felt like it'd be the perfect match for the 458's amazing body. And hey, I can't really blame him for not painting it white. This is a vehicle that most certainly deserves to stand out from the pack. Not only is it breathtakingly beautiful, but it will probably go down as one of the best cars to drive. From its almost perfect steering response to the accuracy you can feel while driving, the Ferrari 458 truly is a dynamic package that any fan of luxury vehicles would want to have in their arsenal. That said, this next car might be one that's even more interesting. It's the Ford GT. The rapper got this first-generation vehicle for around $400,000. Now, that's not exactly a small investment, but it might have paid off for him. That's because this car is pretty rare to find. And given the fact that it's an analog supercar, it'll likely fetch a pretty penny in the market anytime Ludacris wants to part ways with it. You can check out the listings for the car yourself if you don't believe me, but that's not the only thing that makes this car so special. There's also the fact that, in a lot of ways, the vehicle serves as a homage to one of the greatest racing vehicles to ever grace the world, the GT40. Since only about 4,000 of these cars were made, it's a pretty big deal that Luda has one in his collection. Next up is the Lamborghini Huracan Spider. And I mean, this was obviously gonna show up. I think at this point, it's impossible to have a celebrity car lineup go by without this being mentioned. To be honest, that's not exactly surprising. This Italian supercar has been one of the most popular options for the last few years. While it's slowly heading towards its twilight years as its eventual retirement continues to creep close, there's no denying that with the all-new replacement set to release in 2024, it could make a pretty sizable comeback. Given the car's popularity, it's not exactly a shock to see that it spawned a number of variants and versions. Most of these have gotten a ton of praise from both everyday testers and professional drivers. Coupled with the downright explosive character the vehicle has, it makes sense why Ludacris would want one of these in his collection. In a lot of ways, the car shows off his personality perfectly. That said, with just how popular it is among celebrities, I'm guessing it's probably embarrassing to be as rich as they are and not have one of these beauties in your collection. No wonder they're all going nuts for it. Anyway, the next car in Ludacris's collection is the Mercedes-AMG G63. Much like his Acura legend, this car also has some sentimental value for the star. He got this back in 2016 as a gift for his wife, Eudoxie. And man, the story behind it is about as magical as you can expect. Apparently, he wanted it to be a surprise. So he called her to the set of Fast and Furious 8 and showed her this expensive gift. Now, I'm guessing since it was the set of a Fast and Furious movie, she probably thought the car was going to be used in the film or something at first. But it probably didn't take too long to realize this was a gift from her husband, perfectly wrapped with a golden bow and everything. Like many of his other vehicles, this mid-size SUV is painted white and has a number of black and chrome details on the exterior. While there haven't been any upgrades made to it, the base vehicle is powerful enough to give Eudoxie quite a bit of fun when she takes it out into the town. And the same can be said for this next car, the Mercedes-Maybach GLS 600. This vehicle has gotten Luda's personal seal of approval. He even went out of his way to make an official video on his Instagram account, where he showed the car's air suspension. It's safe to say that he's quite impressed by what the car has to offer. This is pretty much a given when you consider that this is one of the most luxurious SUVs ever designed. The Mercedes-Maybach GLS 600 costs around $200,000. And that's just the starting price. While the exact specifications and changes that Luda has made to his own car are unknown, it's safe to assume he didn't cheap out on anything. The car comes with Nappa leather massage seats, a duo of 12.3-inch infotainment screens, as well as an epic surround sound system. And get this, the guy managed to score his own GLS 600 before the vehicle was even made available to dealerships. That's the kind of special treatment you can expect when you're Ludacris. Now, there's just one other car in the rapper's collection that can outmatch the GLS 600, and that's the Rolls-Royce Dawn. Like a couple of other names on this list, this is another car that you'll find in a lot of celebrity collections. Luda got his white-colored variant back in 2019, and I'm sure he enjoys it very much. The car is the ultimate example of luxury. I mean, that's something you can expect from any model in the Rolls-Royce range, but this one is just a tad above the rest. It comes fixed with a ton of opulent materials in its interior, which adds to its extravagance. The starting price for the vehicle is around $350,000. This makes it one of the most expensive cars in Ludacris's collection, but with just how much luxury it offers, coupled with its amazing looks, it's well worth the price, if you ask me. So from the luxurious Rolls-Royce Dawn, which costs a whopping $350,000, to his first ever car, the iconic Acura legend, those were all vehicles in Ludacris's private car collection.